Here at Wealthy Expat, we help wealthy individuals just like you protect, expand, and enjoy your wealth in countries that welcome you. As a wealthy man, you need to protect your assets, yourself, and your family. And these are the top 10 rules you should follow. Rule number 1 is to always have a financial backup plan. You never know when your home country, maybe you're in a safe, high-tax country right now that you trust, maybe you're in the US, and you think US banks will never fail and that the government will always protect you. Just in case it gets bad enough, have another place, another bank, another company, somewhere else in the world in order to shift all your assets right away. For example, if you have a US LLC or you have a company in Canada or in the UK, Australia, wherever, you're doing all your business through that company. You never know when you might get sued or when taxes increase or when regulations start to become unbearable. You always have another option. You have a company in Dubai, you have a residence permit in another country that you can then take all of those assets, all that company, and transfer it to the other company in the other country away from that jurisdiction that you're currently in order to save all your assets. The second rule is to don't take advice from people that make less money than you or from people that don't have experience with clients of your high net worth. Something that works for somebody making $10,000 a month will not work for somebody making $1 million a month. For example, if somebody tells you, go and move to Mexico because in Mexico there's more freedom and you're gonna enjoy life more, and you think, okay, let me take my $10 million and move them to Mexico, put them in a Mexican bank account, go ahead and live in Mexico. I'm not gonna pay taxes in Mexico because that guy told me that I don't need to pay taxes. Okay, now you're in a situation where you might be feeding information to a cartel in Mexico. The bank knows that you have the $10 million in the bank. They're feeding that information to the cartel. Mexico does have taxes. A lot of people, they move to Mexico, they don't pay any taxes and they think, I don't need to pay taxes in Mexico. Well, actually you do. And if you make a lot of money, they will want you to pay a lot of taxes for that money. Not as high as other countries, but definitely pay some taxes. The third rule is to have multiple home bases around the world. I have multiple residence permits all over the world, specifically one in every continent. I want to make sure that if I want to move to a certain region of the world, or the region of the world that I've chosen, for example, the Middle East, in Dubai, if I've chosen a wrong region, let's say in the next 5 to 10 years, Dubai becomes an unbearable place to live, or the restrictions change, or the taxes increase, then I have another place that I can go to, and you always want to have multiple IDs all over the world. This is not to become different persons. This is not to become a person with a different name. It's just to have different options around the world in order to move to another country. For example, if I want to move to the Caribbean or I want to move to Latin America, I can use my St. Kitts passport because it gives me access to all those countries. If I want to move to Europe, then I have a European residence permit. If I want to move to Asia, then I'm acquiring an Asian residence permit as well. So you have multiple home bases and also multiple actual homes. So you might want to buy properties in different countries. If you want to buy property in Europe, you could do that through the Portugal Golden Visa, and you're also getting a residence permit and potentially citizenship. This also comes in very helpful if the world decides to close again because of this whole monkey situation happening. Then you also have multiple permits around the world that allow you to travel all over the world without depending on just your passport and the regulations that your specific passport or the restrictions that your passport has. Rule number 4, don't feel guilty for not loving your country. This was something that I struggled in the beginning. I come from Puerto Rico, and even though Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, Puerto Ricans themselves are very patriotic about Puerto Rico. And a lot of people around the world, when they're moving to a different country, you as a wealthy man, if you're finding a new place that you want to move to, maybe your friends or people around you are saying, oh, why are you going to leave the best country on earth? Why are you going to leave Canada or the United States or Australia? We're the best nation on the planet. How it's possible that you can find more freedom in another country, you can feel better in another country? That's going to happen a lot. Maybe you want to get yourself new friends. Maybe you don't want to spend that much time with your family. Whatever decision you take, just know that it's fine to not love your country. I don't love Puerto Rico. I criticize it a lot. I criticize the United States a lot. I've tried living in many countries around the world. I criticize a lot of them for not being that good for expats, and that's fine. I have multiple countries all over the world that I absolutely love, usually 1 or 2 in each continent, that I want to spend time in, that I want to get a permit in, and that's fine. Rule number 5 is stay humble. Even if you make millions, hundreds of millions, no matter where you go, it will help a lot. Stay humble in the sense of not thinking that a specific country is too poor for you or too whatever for you. A lot of people, for example, that I talk to, that are my clients, they say, oh, Dubai, it's too Muslim, it's too artificial, I don't want any of that. Or some countries that I recommend that are a little bit less developed, but they meet the requirements that they want out of their lifestyle. They say, that country's too poor, I'm too good for that place, or I'm too good for that city. Don't have this attitude when picking a country to move to, because you might be pleasantly surprised. I've been to some places that I thought were absolute assholes, that I'm not gonna enjoy that place, and I truly enjoyed it. I've been to 60 something countries at this point, trying to hit 100 in the next couple of years, and something that has always helped me was keeping an open mind, being humble, and appreciating every experience that happens. The next rule is to prioritize health and fitness. Once you're traveling the world, and once you're trying to move to different places, once you're working a lot, investing a lot, growing your wealth, you might forget that you need to go to the gym. You might forget that you want to keep a healthy diet. It's really good to live in a strong, masculine, healthy body in order to perform better, to travel better, to not get sick as often, to overall enjoy your life a lot better. Also, if you're dating, if you're attracting women, then obviously you're gonna attract much better, higher quality women. If you're healthy, if you're fit, that's something that is an extremely high priority in my life. I talk to many of my clients in order to help them with that priority, because they always forget to go to the gym or find gyms around them, or for example, keep their food healthy or keep their nutrition up when they're traveling and finding new places. Definitely something that has helped me a lot, and I highly recommend it to every wealthy man. What is the number one rule you follow as a wealthy man? Comment it down below. The next rule that I sometimes forget, even though I talk about it a lot here on YouTube, is that taxes are a big deal for a lot of countries. Either pay them and stay in the place where you are, or legally reduce them. Sometimes, as we're running our business or as we're heading into non-tax seasons, let's say for example the winter, Q4, it's not tax season, it's far away, 6 months away. I don't need to worry about taxes, I can just evade taxes, I can just put some money in a hardware wallet, nobody's gonna find it. Governments are smarter than what you think. A lot of people have gone to prison for tax evasion, and you don't want to get caught in a court case against your own government because you decided to not avoid taxes legally. So I highly recommend you to take taxes extremely seriously. Don't cut corners. Don't start companies in countries that are blacklisted, that you're gonna pay taxes anyway. Don't pretend like you're living in another country like Shakira, who's facing 80 years in prison for tax evasion. Do it right. Legally reduce your taxes, take them very seriously, and take the necessary steps in order to reduce your taxes down to zero or as close to zero as possible by following all the laws. Rule number 8 is to value your privacy. You never know who is following you on social media, who is keeping a track of you, which government is looking at you, which tax auditor is trying to find where you are in the world. Keep your privacy, have bank accounts in many different countries, have different citizenships in order to keep more of your own privacy, have residence permits, have driving licenses, have different IDs all over the world in order to protect yourself from somebody that might be putting all your information in a folder and trying to find out what you're doing all over the world. We'll use apps like Telegram, use apps like Signal that always keep it private and overall value privacy in your life. The next rule, which I have personal experience with, and also a lot of my clients have, is to be careful with women. Whenever you're getting in a relationship with a woman, whether it's your boyfriend and girlfriend or you're actually going and getting married, make sure that you take all the necessary steps to protect you. Love is amazing. When you fall in love, it's the best feeling in the world. But me, going through a divorce, pretty destructive divorce at that, I always advise my clients to always have just a backup plan. Always make sure that they protect their assets. Always keep some of their assets outside of the relationship so that the woman doesn't really know where everything is, so that the woman can't potentially take everything. Most governments around the world, they favor women when it comes to divorce or court. So usually the man is the one that ends up with minus 50%, minus 75% net worth. Be very careful. You never know what might happen. Love is beautiful, but it can turn ugly at some point. And rule number 10 for you as a wealthy man is that social media can be destructive. Live your own life and don't let outside influence affect your decisions. For example, there's people that might be moving to the United States and you're moving outside of the United States, or there's people hanging out on a yacht while you're working at 2 a.m. on a crypto project. Don't let that influence how you're living. You might think that they're having more fun, they're living a better life. Usually those are very small parts of their life, and the rest of their life looks exactly just like yours. Maybe they're showing off an amazing life, but in reality they're having a lot of struggles, so don't let that influence your life in any way. Follow these 10 rules, protect yourself, and if you're looking to lower your taxes, get a second citizenship, protect your assets as much as possible, and you want our help to do it, that is what we do every single day. Click that first link in the description down below. Book a one-on-one call with me and the Wealthy Expat team. Let's see what we can do to help you and take you through the steps in order to protect your wealth. Click that link right now. And if you're paying too much in taxes and you want to lower your taxes down legally with a step-by-step process, check the video that is going to pop up right here. If you're paying too much in tax, watch this video right now.